Okay, it's been a while since I've done one of these. This is mostly this is what's going on thing. I guess it definitely counts as a life with Lynda because how it's all rather odd. Um, had some health issues recently, and I know I'm sounding odd, but that's because I'm still working through some. I was about to go when last we spoke, had issues with Fang. Fang is now gone. And I'm going to try not to talk much about that because I don't want to cry because it's hard enough to breathe already. Um, that was hard. Um, but before that, I was having issues. When I do this, you can feel a lump right here. It's like whoop, whoop. And when I noticed it, I was like, wow, that's not normal. And I started fearing maybe that's a bone, but I couldn't figure out how that could be a bone because of the way your bones, are shaped. But it definitely feels like a bone. I also noticed I couldn't do as much with my left arm. Then when I would try to pull them to the side, I can go to here, and that's as far as I can go there. This one I can get to here, but only there on this side. And so I finally went to a doctor. Went to the doctor. She tested a few different little things and said rotator cuff, sent me on to an orthopedic doctor. Orthopedic doctor did x-rays and found that my body decided to put a nice big lump of calcium, so pretty much like a bone, directly in the tendon for my rotator cuff. And she said, nobody knows why this happens. It just does. And that for this, my body is going to work on trying to break it up. And it just simply hurts while it breaks it up. Then I also talked about how whenever I do this, my shoulders grind. And I've complained about this for a couple of years. And it's been feeling like my shoulders are going more forward than they're supposed to. And I really want them to go back. And I've made jokes for ages about how my shoulders are up to my ears and I really don't want them to be. And I know a lot of people just were like, ha, 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 ha. But it really has bothered me for quite some time. So I mentioned it to her. And she said the scapula, the backs of my shoulder bones are basically rubbing because of the amount of tension I'm holding. So that one, she said, go to physical therapy. They're working on helping me learn to let go and work on getting my shoulders to come back. And so I'm trying to do physical therapy for that. And that doctor, of course, said I needed to reduce my stress. And all I kept thinking at that point was fat chance because I saw her just days before having to have Fang put down. So we know that just added more stress. Um, you would think after going to counseling for as long as I've been going that I would be much better at this whole processing thing. But I'm still not ready to accept it. So I'm still a bit in denial. Um, I'll work on it at some point, right? So things seem to be getting better. Um, one of my jobs made me the remedial specialist because she says that that's my forte, that I'm really good at making students feel comfortable and less afraid, making complex things seem simple. So I would have a much better success rate. I could help these students succeed in these remedial courses. And so this is for remedial science, remedial math, remedial English. That felt good. Then, of course, I also had gotten the job with a tutoring company in Chicago that is mainly for special needs kids. I tell you all this as my lead in. So last Friday, I felt my anxiety building and was like, yeah, I guess this is going to be a nice big anxiety attack. And it kept building. Never quite got to the top part where I just want to scream, But it got up there and then just kind of plateaued. The problem is it then never came down. So I was stuck in the anxiety attack from Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. And finally, by 2 a.m. Monday morning, I just couldn't take it anymore. So I begged and pleaded for Lisa to take me to the ER, told her that if she couldn't drive me, I'll just take a lift, that kind of thing. Finally got to the ER, which is what that big old bruise is from. And they gave me some EKGs, two of them, chest x-ray, checked blood work for the enzymes for the heart, make sure everything's good, and heart's good. And then they gave me some meds, and finally the pain in my chest started to ease off. Finally. Went home at like 6 a.m., got a couple of hours of sleep, and just still felt horrible. And I've been moving in slow motion pretty much. Today is the most I've moved, and I have moved 1,824 steps. Yeah, so not even a mile. And Thursday, I was back up to my anywhere between 6 and 10 miles a day. And so that tells you how far down I'm fast. It takes effort to talk, takes effort to breathe. It hurts if I take too deep of a breath. It really hurts to laugh, and that sucks because I am a smart butt and I crack myself up on a regular basis, and then it hurts. I can't even yawn. Yawning hurts. Um, Today is Wednesday, and I'm worlds better than I was. I'm even worlds better than I was yesterday. I've lost over 4 pounds since Friday. Even while I'm not moving, my Fitbit still keeps congratulating me on hitting the fat burning zone. So I'm guessing everything's still doing this. I had my follow up at the doctor today, and there's for that blood work. When I said the back of my hand, who in the world would think, here, let's go to the base of her wrist? That friggin' hurt, man. But anyway, they also did an EKG. Yet again, my heart's great. Normally I see the nurse practitioner, but they brought in the actual doctor. So I finally met the guy whose name is on my insurance card. That was cool. And poked and prodded. And the basic consensus is inflamed chest muscles area, cavity. I don't think a cavity can be inflamed, so I'm going to say it's the chest muscles, but it's worse on this side than this side. When he poked in on my ribs here, man, I almost screamed because that really hurts. So they want me, well, first they wanted me to take prednisone, and then I informed them no because I'm allergic. And they said they wanted me to take anti-inflammatories, and I told them one kidney, I have to be careful. And he said it's only for a few days. I said, okay. And then also muscle relaxers because they need me to stop working my muscles so much. So I'm going to start those meds tomorrow because Walgreens was out of one of them. And I didn't feel like having to go twice. So tomorrow I'll go pick those meds up and I'll start medicating tomorrow. And then the other thing is I have to slow down. I have to not do so much. I have to find a way to reduce stress. I don't know how to do that. And I'm not saying that as a, ha, look how much I do kind of thing. It's, I honestly don't know how. It's so silly. I didn't want to talk about things. I didn't want to cry. And then I start crying, trying to figure out about how to not do so much. I'll keep my job at SGSC because that's my easiest job. Keep my job at GMC because that's the one that pays the most. So that brings me down to those two jobs I just mentioned a while ago. The remedial specialist and the tutoring the special needs. And I don't want to give either of them up. So I'm trying to figure out how. How do I make it work? I'm trying to go through a calendar and figure out how to make myself literally have a day or two or three off in a week. And I'm trying to figure it out. I think I might have it figured out where I can have 2 days off a week, but that won't be until the second week of October because I have too much to do. And the fact that I was so ill this past weekend, I'm Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I'm like 4 to 5 days behind everything I need to do. So I'm like mad cat trying to catch up with everything right now. And the more I try to do, the more this starts to hurt. And so I know it's connected, but I don't know what else to do because there is no one else to do everything I do. And it's not that I'm that phenomenal, it's just that's my job. I pick up what everybody puts down. My sister, my sister had told my mom last month she was going to help with rent. And then I think it was last week, she tells my mom that they talked about it and they're not going to help her with her rent at all. So for a little while, I thought I was going to have a small reprieve. And I'm very angry at my sister because you don't do that to somebody. And I mean, it's her mom. I don't understand. I need to make enough money to pay all the bills and to pay my mom's rent. Pax is helping. Elisa has a job right now and she says she's going to help. I'm doing a debt consolidation thing, so that should bring down my monthly payments. But in the course of trying to have less stress, I can't let anything drop either. And then I talked to my mom today to update her. And she's talking about how much it means to her for me to come by every week and this and that. And I know it does. She needs somebody to visit. And I really think I'm the only person who's visited her in like 2 months because I normally go every week. But she wasn't feeling well last week. And then I was supposed to see her yesterday and I wasn't doing well. And so that's on there. So while I'm trying to figure out how to schedule a day off, I'm also having to make sure I'm there to see her and take care of her. It's Mr. Osiris, man. He's been trying to be all cuddly. It's really sweet. So I'm trying to figure out how in the world do people actually find a way to have a day off? And how do you relax on those days off? And how do you, I mean, like, what actually constitutes a day off? I don't understand this. And I'm not trying to be stupid. I'm really not. I just don't understand it. Because I was thinking a day that I'm just chilling at home and grading would count as a day off. But apparently that doesn't because you're still working. And the only way I can find to do everything and get the days off is to do more on the days that I'm not taking off. But I feel like that might defeat the purpose. And I just don't know how. I don't know how. I don't know how to let things go. And then there's the mental emotional part. And that would be the part that says, exactly what all am I going to have to think about and deal with if I'm not super busy? And I already know them. And I don't want to deal with thinking about everybody who's died. I don't want to deal with thinking about all the things that have happened in just the past few years. And some of you know to the extent of the crap that happened the past few years. Some of you don't, but trust me. Oh, it's been pretty bad. And I am very good at the whole denial thing and stuffing it down and figuring I'll deal with it later. And I know that part of how I deal with everything, well, how I don't deal with everything is I stay busy. Because if I'm busy enough, I don't have time to deal with the other things. Which sounds great, other than clearly it's affecting my health at this point. I had the doctor telling me that it's good that I take care of people, but that it's my turn. She says that it's my turn, that I have to take care of me. And I don't know how to do it. I feel like I'm at my best when I'm taking care of everybody else. I have no idea how to do that taking care of me thing. And it scares the crap out of me. Because I know so many people who are so friggin' self-centered and self-absorbed. They don't see what they're doing. They don't see how they're hurting everybody around them. And I'm terrified. I'm terrified of becoming one of those people. And so I don't know how to do it. But it's what I apparently have to work on. And if you know me, you know I don't know how to do anything partially. I do everything full out. So I'm trying to plan, because that's what I do. And if it takes until the second week of October before I can actually take a couple of days off in a row, um, that's what it'll be. And so I'm guessing that's my goal, is by mid-October I have to actually start taking care of me. And I know it's funny to say the mid of October, that a normal person would just say, start now. Oh, that's too friggin' hard, man. It is so much easier to just take care of everybody else, because this is forcing me to have to acknowledge things. It's making me have to quiet that part in my head that, it's just me. Crap. And yeah, this is hurting me again. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Oh, I'm looking forward to some more positive life with Lynda's again. I have some deep ones I have to cover, but I can't do it until I start taking the meds and this chest and rib thing stops killing me and I can like breathe and stuff. So I guess that's coming, but not just yet. And I think Osiris is coming to say bye. You right, sir? Yeah, he's my big boy. So I guess that's it. Next one hopefully will be better. Fingers crossed. All right. Peace out.